Big topics, bigger opinions, all on the biggest platform. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Oh, you guys almost missed something magical. Susie Jones, right here. You know, when you think of Susie, you think poised, controlled, veteran newswoman, always put together. Her sound is crisp and cool. And after she finished her news update, she dropped her headphones on the floor and just about biffed it, tripping over the cord. Would have been great. It would have been great. But she is so polished. So polished, no problem. When you are in a situation where you almost biff it, do you try to fake it? Like, do you try to cover it up? You know what I mean? Like you're walking down the street, 651-461-9226. I know you're shocked that this maybe wasn't where I was going to start. This wasn't the plan? This wasn't the plan. But I for sure fake it. I fake it. Surprising no one that I'm concerned about how other people perceive me. But if I'm walking down the street, and usually I'll trip over nothing, right? Because you hit a certain age and you find yourself tripping over literally nothing. But I'll look back like, oh, what was that? Or you trip, but you try to a little jog as if you're trying.
A little shuffle hop kind of.
I meant to do that. Do you fake it or do you just?
I lean into it. I do the pratfall. I try to, make it even look more wild and crazy and tumbly. Because then at least people are going to laugh and we can all enjoy it together. My favorite story about a trip like this was when I was back in college at the University of Wisconsin at Madison, a quality institution, by the way. Yeah. Madison is famous for having uneven sidewalks.
True. One
piece will be sticking up a little bit, one piece will be dipping down, and that's especially treacherous during the winter because you get giant ice patches. So my folks were visiting, whole family was visiting while I was there. I want to say it was my freshman or sophomore year, but whatever. And my mother, who is 5 feet tall on a good hair day, hits one of those raised portions of the sidewalk and starts to stumble. And I kid you not, she was starting to stumble for at least 3/4 of a block. she didn't go down, but she couldn't catch herself. And it just, it was like you were watching this in slow motion because it just kept going and going and going. And finally she drops down to her knees. My brother and I immediately, because we're good kids, are you okay? She sort of sighs, yeah, I'm okay, and gets back up. And now we're just all howling, laughing because it's the funniest dang thing you ever saw in your life. It was like a cartoon. It just kept going and going and going. It was ridiculous. But that sort of, the funniness of that taught me, right. Just go ahead and lean into it.
Just go for it.
Go crazy with it. Have fun.
I'm trying to think of the last time I've straight up just biffed it. Because I am, I'm a little clumsy, but I'm not a lot clumsy. You know what I mean? Texter says, absolutely. You have to be a great actor. You have to cover it up. Yeah. I'm sure my wife would remember, when I've fallen and when I've absolutely lost it. But I think the best thing to do is to fake it. I like Dan's approach, just leading in that you're a klutz. Trying to think now, what is the most embarrassing time that I've straight up wiped out? There was a time on TV that I don't know, does that count? Remember when Jamie Yuccas and I did the Going to the Lake series?
Yeah.
And I actually came after this happened to be on Chad's show. But I had to go to the hospital.
That's right. It was a tubing incident, wasn't it?
I had a tubing incident where I thought I broke a rib.
Yeah.
And then the next day I sneezed.
And you did break the rib.
Yeah. Had to go. I don't know. Like, the last time the last time I biffed it, this was a good scenario of this. I was on Bay Lake, and I've told this story on the show before because I was walking down the steps.
Oh, yeah.
Outside Chi-Chi's
I remember
house.
This. Yes.
And you know Chi-Chi's, the Mexican restaurant. Chi-Chi's is named after Michael McDermott's mother. At the time, it was the original creator of Chi-Chi's. His wife, she went by the name Chi-Chi, and that's why they called it that. And people think like, oh, it's named Chi-Chi's because you know what a pair of Chi-Chi's are in Mexican, bazinga. No, it's named after a person, Chi-Chi. So I was visiting Chi-Chi's house, walking down these stone landscape steps, and I was gazing at the splendor and the beauty of Bay Lake.
Yeah.
And just
one bad step.
Boom! Down I went. Now, I thought I handled it pretty suavely. And I continued down. Yeah. Like, I just fell. I didn't scream. I didn't make noise. Alyssa was behind me. She said it's the weirdest thing she's ever seen. For someone to straight up fully fall down, and to not make a single sound. You have this moment of like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And is he alive? Because there's no sound.
And then you pop back up like nothing happened and just keep going.
And then I kept going. Yeah. And then when I got in the boat, well, the scars are still on my shins.
You looked down and went,
it was really bad. But I thought I handled it pretty smoothly until I went to the grand opening of the new Chi-Chi's at the Shops at West End in St. Louis Park, where I saw Chi-Chi and then I saw her current partner who said, hey, have you seen the video?
Oh, no.
Because everybody has video cameras everywhere.
Recording everything now.
There was pretty clear video of me just biffing it.
Lovely.
Yeah. I do think the acting route is probably...
Just go for it, man.
507er says, when I trip, I play it to the hilt.
Yeah.
I fall, I cry, and then I look around for who I should sue.
Bingo. There you go.
I mean, there's a decent chance that I have about a 5% ownership of Chi-Chi's now for that happening on her property, you know?
I mean, you can make a phone call.
Now, Dan, a texter, wants to know why you and your brother didn't reach out and catch your mother before she fell.
That's a fair question. It was a sizable sidewalk. We weren't like immediately next to her. And it was going on so long, we thought she was going to eventually manage to save it.
Right.
We didn't think she was going to actually biff it at the end.
Yeah.
So it's funny, I do tend to remember other people's pratfalls more than my own. But I do recall one helping a friend of mine move. And he had the U-Haul truck and had the ramp coming back off the U-Haul truck. And I was going to go up into the truck and get something. But I didn't want to walk all the way back around to the base of the ramp. So I was just going to hop up onto the ramp about halfway like the cool guy that I am.
Right.
Forgetting in that moment that I have absolutely zero ups. None whatsoever. You can maybe slide a piece of paper under my feet when I try to jump. So I didn't quite make the ramp, fell short, and, of course, a whole group of people standing around.
Right.
So, yeah, then you just start flopping like a fish, pretending that you broke your leg or something and see if you can get a little sympathy out of the bit. But I scraped the heck out. Your shin story reminded me of that.
Yeah,
I scraped the heck out of my shin doing it.
715er, when I trip and fall, it doesn't matter if I got hurt or not. My first instinct is to look around and see if anyone saw me. Oh, that reminds me. There's a time I was at Lifetime Fitness in Maple Grove on the treadmill, jogging, kind of boop, boop, boop. Here we go. Vroom, vroom, vroom,
working up your rhythm?
Working out. Kind of, this specimen doesn't happen by accident. Obviously, it was made partially in the kitchen, partially in the gym, So I'm on the treadmill, and at that time, I had wired headphones in, and a headphone popped out. And I did what So the headphone popped out, and my phone goes to the ground.
Oh, no. Onto the track of the treadmill?
No, it fell like to the side.
Okay.
And so I did what would be the natural instinct, which was I went down to grab it.
Oh.
And so I fell on the treadmill, and then like a cartoon character, like Astro from the Jetsons opening, I hit the treadmill.
Nice current reference.
And it really does work like that.
Yeah.
When you fall, you do slide like the conveyor and shoots you right off.
Yeah. There are whole videos of just that kind of pratfall looped.
And all I could do at that point was pick up my phone and leave. I left the gym. And at the Maple Grove Lifetime that they have like surveillance video where for their own amusement, I'm sure.
For sure there's security guards looking at that going, hey, get out of this guy.
I just had to leave. I had my phone. I left my dignity right there on the treadmill.
I like to text her when I fall. I'm going down like a basketball player looking around for a foul. That's what you do. Just look around. Hey, what? Hey.
I like it. We are going to talk about the newest poll that came out looking at immigration enforcement in Minnesota. And maybe because I read too many of your texts, I was surprised by what they found in the poll, especially what people in greater Minnesota had to say. We'll talk about that next.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Nobody likes spending a lot of time on the phone trying to get a better deal. It's Jason. I do like a better deal, though, but I want to make it easier. I'm going to make it easier for you by giving you one place that is going to reach out to 16 different companies. They're going to compare your scenario to 16 different companies, and you only have to make one call. The Canopy Group is waiting to hear from you. This Minnesota company has innovated in such a big way. They have saved so many CCO listeners so much money. They've saved me more than $800 the first time I called, and I just called the 800 number, 800-967-3389. You call that number. You tell them what your current premiums are, what your deductibles are, what your coverage is, and off they go. Finding a scenario that's going to fit your life, your zip code. How many kids do you have? How many cars do you have? Where's your house? What? On and on. They've got you covered. They will get you the best coverage for the best price. Honestly, when you hear about this approach, you think, why would you do it any other way? Why would you go to one agent with one company? The Canopy Group is going to guarantee that you get the best deal, and then they'll do it again automatically year after year after year. I've been such a satisfied customer with their company, with the service, with the whole team at the Canopy Group, more than 50 professionals on your team. So reach out. They're in Belle Plaine, LeSueur, Minnetonka, but one number gets you there, 800-967-3389, or you can do it online at thecanopygroup.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Well, you can start today and file for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th and you'll pay $0. Start filing for free today. Offer only for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig a zig.
Minnesota overwhelmingly hates the way immigration authorities are doing their business in the state. It's not even close. It's not even close. Polling shows 64% of Americans disapprove of the ICE surge. But when you ask, do you approve or disapprove of how ICE is handling its job? I was surprised to see how many Minnesotans, how many in greater Minnesota especially, said they strongly disapprove. You know that people in the liberal cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul are going to be very opposed to what's going on out here. I mean, this is not a surprise. I was surprised to see 49% of greater Minnesota said strongly disapprove. Strongly disapprove. 651-461-9226. I strongly disapprove of the way ICE is doing its job. I did not expect so many people in greater Minnesota to be that against the tactics. Because I think we have this idea that greater Minnesota looks at Minneapolis and St. Paul as failures. And it's very easy to blame, well, if people weren't blowing their whistles or getting in the way, or people weren't throwing snowballs or screaming or getting their car in the way. Well, everything would be fine if you just went along. And this is what, like, most of the responses in social media to me and on text lines sort of summarize what greater Minnesota thinks. And people are always happy to tell you what greater Minnesota thinks. Oh, out here in greater Minnesota, we're afraid to come to the Twin Cities, and we think all you guys are. But, well, when it comes to federal government's work alongside state and local leaders, which statement do you agree with more? The federal government has gone too far, or state and local government has gone too far? 43% of greater, 53% of greater Minnesota says the federal government has gone too far. What jumped out to me about this is the fact that when you look at these maps of Minnesota that say, well, here are the blue counties and here are the red counties, you know, it's sort of looking, it's trying to simplify the way that we think. And indeed, greater Minnesota overwhelmingly is voting for Donald Trump. And greater Minnesota will overwhelmingly vote for whomever the next Republican nominee is for U.S. president. But when you're talking overwhelming, you're also saying that maybe this is like a 60-40. Well, 40%, that's a lot of Democrats in greater Minnesota, right? We sort of simplify this to mean like, it's Trump country. And it is, but it's not 100% to 0. It's not 90% to 10. And it also goes to the fact that many of us consider ourselves independents, even though people's voting behavior sort of lines up with one party or the other. We don't like to say it. We like to say we're independent. There are very rarely times where you actually see some of that independence come out. And I think this immigration surge is an example of that. So this approval question. So when you actually add up somewhat disapprove and strongly disapprove. So we're talking about tactics, how ICE is handling its job. In Minneapolis and St. Paul, 75% strongly or somewhat disapprove. In the suburbs, 70% strongly or somewhat disapprove. In the rest of the state, 54% strongly or somewhat disapprove. Now this, of course, when you go to party lines, how about this? I don't know if I've ever seen this in a poll. Democrats, 0% polled, strongly approve. 2% somewhat approve. 98% somewhat disapprove or strongly disapprove. That's pretty overwhelming. It's pretty overwhelming. Republicans, only 55% of Republicans strongly approve. I just think this goes to the fact that regular people, not like the politically obsessed, not the people who can't get off of X and can't stay out of my replies and are triggered anytime I say anything, or our text line. Regular people see what's happening in the streets and they say, look, no, too much. Texters coming through at 651-461-9226. Says, I lived in urban and suburban Minnesota most of my life, but I did spend a year in New Orleans, Minnesota. And what I can tell you is there's a population of about 30 to 40% that are pretty liberal and about 30 to 40% more that are fairly centrist. I don't think greater Minnesota is as deep red as people would like us to think it is. Another texter says, I don't think ICE should be stopping people without probable cause. But cops have always done that. So I also think the protesters are crazy nut jobs. I do think that's sort of interesting, right? There's this idea that there's a binary, Dan, that if you are saying that ICE has gone too far, that it means you agree with the tactics of the protesters. And the truth is, I think most, I don't want to appoint myself the spokesperson for normal people.
But here we go.
I sort of am. I think most people do think that the protesters are, and by protesters, I'm trying to make a distinction between protesters and agitators or observers. Because to me, they are different categories. Protests in Minnesota have been unbelievably peaceful, incredibly peaceful. Not like post-George Floyd peaceful, where it was mostly peaceful except for like the burning and the buildings damaged and that.
The looting. And, yeah.
Like legitimately peaceful. The agitators and the observers, their stated goal and stated purpose was to slow down ICE, to drive them away from certain areas. And I think most people look at that and they're like, woof, I don't know about that. Now, my view on that has softened because I do think that the crazies have done a lot of good and have shed a lot of light on the tactics that ICE was using. And so sometimes you need the crazies. But I do think you can hold both of those positions where you're like protesters don't really, or agitators don't really care for that. But the federal government has more responsibility. And that's sort of what the polling has borne out. Interesting stuff, I think. Let's break. We are going to shift and talk to our friend Tracy Perlman. Lots of good stuff to talk to Tracy about. I want to ask her view on first dates because one sort of wandered into my dinner time last night. Another topic for her is about going commando, the health benefits and the dangers of going commando. It is just an excuse to talk about going commando, and we'll do that when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO. You probably came for the breaking news. The severe weather and winter storm reports.
Hi, Tracy.
Maybe for Twins baseball. Can we convince you to stay for the conversations?
We had a caller who said she's no longer a Republican. I said I'm no longer a Democrat. Who are we?
Listen longer.
We care about each other so much at times that we want to take care of people, that we allow people to take advantage of us.
And hear the difference.
You need an ID in almost every facet of life. So can't we just require that you have an ID in order to vote?
News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana here.
Hi, Tracy.
Resolution or not.
Hello.
If you haven't made a plan yet.
How you doing?
I'm talking about
I'm
a life
great. How are you?
An estate plan.
I mean, we're going to Florida
Plan
on
for,
Sunday, so how bad can we be?
Your stuff.
I leave.
I know you don't like to think
on
about
Tuesday for Arizona.
what might happen
Nice.
if something happened to you. If you
I've gotta
were
wait for
incapacitated
Chappelle,
or
and
even
then I'm
worse.
outta
But
here.
you know what? You got to do it. If you don't have
of
that
the things that would keep you
will or
waiting,
the
that's not
trust
bad.
or power of
It's not a bad
attorney
one.
or a health
bad.
Not a bad one at
directive,
all.
Consider this your
Very good.
swift
We'll be
kick
with
in
you
the
here in
pants
about 3
to
minutes.
Get it done.
Okay,
And when it
I'm
comes
ready.
to estate planning, I recommend my dear friend Matt Gutman. Matt has helped me so many times. I'm talking medical powers of attorney, plans for the kids when they go off to college, and his full estate plan for me and for Mark. He's done it for my family. He can do it for you too. He and his partner, Jamie Ref Wagner, will do an incredible job for you, and you will be happy it's done. Call Gutman Law today, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com. Peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
If the last real estate agent you hired couldn't sell your home, you need to call my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Hi, it's Vanita. The Good Neighbor agent goes the extra mile. John's marketing system helps him sell houses fast for the most money possible. Curious what your home is worth? John will tell you for free. Type in your address, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are bunched up for the crosstown eastbound Ron Gleason heading out toward Portland Avenue. If you're going to be traveling 90 for westbound, that's going to be slow as you move past 11th Avenue into downtown Minneapolis and the Lowry Hill Tunnel. You're also going to find some slowdowns north 35E as you move past Maryland Avenue to Little Canada Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast is warm. A weird stretch of winter weather. Here is Chris Schaefer.
It's still winter, but it's feeling like spring out there. Mostly cloudy tonight, 26 the overnight low. We should crack into the low 40s tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. 43 on Friday. Valentine's Day looks dry for any big plans you have, and very warm with a high up near 50. A pretty good shot of hitting 50 early next week.
Right now, it is, well, it's not super toasty yet, but it's way above average for sure. 37 in St. Paul on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
You are worth the price of admission every single day because I have no bleeping idea what you are capable of saying.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's time for our weekly visit with Tracy Perlman. She joins us via video link up. We are looking for a sponsor for the video link up, by the way. So if somebody wants to sponsor maybe Grand Casino Arena, Tracy, you think some of that Grand Casino money could, I'll send some of it back to you.
Oh, how lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll take whatever we can get.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to start with the Olympics. Have you been watching any of the Olympics?
I have been.
What's your favorite sport you've been watching?
Ice skating and curling.
Are you normally into curling or is this no?
No, but I have like a sense of Minnesota pride when it comes to curling. Duluth, strong history. St. Paul Curling Club, strong history. I've curled once at the Frogtown Curling Club. So I too could be an Olympian.
I was trying to remember. I was talking to my wife Alyssa about this last night that I have curled also.
Yeah.
And I believe I did it with former Governor Tim Pawlenty.
Oh.
Did WCCO Radio do like a Dave Lee curling thing at the St. Paul Curling Club? He used to do this bowling thing.
Yeah.
And I swear somehow I was invited.
Well, you're a big deal. Just ask you.
It was fun. Curling is fun, and it also feels like something that a regular person could learn how to do.
Yeah. My friend had wanted to do it for a long time. And so for her bachelorette party, she was like, get up early, ladies. Let's go. And we went curling, and then we went bar hopping.
Bachelor party curling.
Yeah. It was it was an all day thing. So that was sort of like the aunties and the cousins could come to that. And then we were like, bye, we're going to go bar hopping, and went off on our merry way. But it was fun.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
It was cool. You learn a lot. I was up in Duluth over the weekend for a day, and we saw the Duluth Curling Center. That was pretty neat. And then it remind me of Team Schuster. It reminded me of the Corys.
Sure.
So it was you feel very prideful. And then I just say things like stone and sweeper and skip. And I feel like I know what I'm talking about.
The Team USA, Corey and Corey.
Mm-hmm.
They got silver.
And it's the first time a woman has won a medal, I think, in curling for mixed doubles, or there's something.
Bit.
Yeah.
I want to know what everybody's favorite Olympic sport is. So text in at 651-461-9226. What are you watching? What are you excited about? That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then also, if you could explain to us the skeleton, that would be great.
The skeleton is
extreme sledding. Extreme sledding doubles.
It's just head first luge, isn't it?
No, isn't that the one where you lay on top of your partner and then you together?
That's the double, or was it doubles luge or whatever, where they're lying on their back. Skeleton is just lying on your stomach.
Skeleton is forward?
Yeah.
Oh.
Based on the graphic on the Olympics page for skeleton.
Okay.
That's it.
It is forward.
Someone going forward.
Who thought it's like when you go on the giant yellow slide at the state fair. You're not an extreme athlete if you can go down the slide faster than somebody else.
Now, the list of sports for the Olympics, Winter Olympics, not too many weird ones, right? You got alpine skiing, biathlon, bobsleigh. I like the bobsleigh because when I was a kid, we used to go tobogganing. And I think that's sort of the same thing. We had a toboggan growing up.
Yeah. And Cool Runnings was really big when I was little.
Cross country skiing, we understand. Curling, we understand. Figure skating, freestyle skating. Ice hockey.
Big fan of that here in St. Paul.
Sure. Luge, Nordic combined. And then you got this speed skating, which, I spent a fair amount of time in Milwaukee where they had like Dan Jensen was like the speed skating god of Wisconsin. And they have like a big speed skating training facility outside Milwaukee.
Oh.
But the maybe the weirdest one, I guess, is ski mountaineering.
No, biathlon.
You think biathlon is the weirdest?
When would you ever need to like Nordic ski, shoot a gun?
I suppose that's fair. Like that is.
Maybe if you were.
I mean, why are you down on Norwegian hunters?
No, you know what? I'm not, and I'm just
Scandinavian
thinking,
hunters. That's what they do in the winter.
What's the race in Wisconsin? If you're at the Berkey and you're like, oh no, a deer or a moose.
Yeah.
Shoot it. Go.
I mean, if you stumble upon a moose, you probably are going to want to shoot it because those things are mean.
It is the correct mood. Yeah.
Just a thought.
It's been fun. Like Alyssa loves the Olympics. I get sucked into the storytelling, right? Like it's always you're down and out, or you were, this person was going to be out of the sport and then they came back, and all of these sports to me look like these people are risking their lives, other than maybe like ice dancing.
No, I don't. The quad god. I'm sorry. We should not be able to rotate 4 times with Ilya.
That's true.
I can't officially say that you may be able to see these ice skaters at some point. But perhaps if you went onto our website, you'd see something.
Interesting.
If you don't want to just watch them on NBC.
How about that for it?
She's not saying anything.
I'm not saying anything. It's not. It has to be a secret now that we're in the games. But it was not a secret prior to the games, and it'll not be a secret after the games.
I mean, I don't see anything on the front page of your website, but if I were just to scroll
But if
through,
you were like, what am I doing on Mother's Day?
For example, you got Lady Gaga.
Just to randomly select the day.
I think I'm just looking. I am. May 10th, for example.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. You can't say, but if you were one to be looking at the Grand Casino Arena website, you might see.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh.
Now I have an intern right now. Her name is Sunny, and she is a figure skater.
Oh.
And she was telling me on Monday that like she knows like some of the Americans who won, who gold medaled.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Would you feel like a failure if you like did something and someone that you worked with then became a gold medalist or like a network news anchor or whatever the case may be,
Or like I have an Emmy.
Oh, she's going to get her Emmy off her desk.
Here it is.
My gosh. Yeah.
There she is.
Honestly, the Midwest Emmys gives out so many of those things. I think.
You know what?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Let me have. Not many people who work at Grand Casino Arena. Okay.
There you go.
How about Dave Schwartz? Does Dave have?
His wife does.
Oh, ouch.
That's why it's here. Dave told me to bring it to work.
Oh.
And my poor coworkers have to suffer through me talking about it.
I love that. I love that torture. That's pretty good. I should bring, I have a couple.
I also have a WWE wrestling belt. So you just never know what I got cooking here in St. Paul.
All right, let's break. Can we break? We're going to break. When we come back, I want to talk about the dude who apologized for cheating on his ex and going commando. Have you ever? It's not for me.
It's too much. Let's go to break, and then
I'll
for me.
Hit the button.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Twin City Framers is the industry leader building the largest wood frame projects in town, and they have immediate openings for carpenters. Here's the deal. Large multifamily carpentry pays an average of $5 an hour more than single-family homes. This is your opportunity to work for the best of the business and make more money today. If you're a carpenter or know someone looking for better pay, better hours, great benefits, and on-the-job training, then look no further. Go online to TwinCityFramers.com and apply for an immediate position today. That's TwinCityFramers.com.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old, so.
And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Some slowing for East 94, 280 over 2 Snelling Avenue. 94 westbound jamming up past 169 to Weaver Lake Road. Going to find some slowdowns for North 169 as we move between Excelsior Boulevard and Highway 55. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters presents Guys and Dolls, a high-rolling musical spectacle packed with iconic songs and dazzling dance numbers. Don't miss this Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Guys and Dolls. Tickets at chanhassendt.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast is warm. Warm tonight, warm tomorrow, 41 tomorrow, 43 on Friday. My goodness. Average high is 27. Right now it is 37 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
He just doesn't know when to shut up, and he doesn't necessarily listen to really smart people.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
A Norwegian Olympian gets a bronze medal and takes that moment to confess that he cheated on an ex and that the moment feels empty because he lost her.
He lost his gold medal.
He lost his gold medal. Tracy Perlman, was this a good or bad idea to confess his infidelity in this moment?
Idiot. Idiot. Dump him. Remember the sweaters? Dump him.
I feel like it was nice. Like he genuinely missed her. He knew he screwed up. I like it.
No, here's why I don't like it. Maybe she doesn't want to know that she obviously knew she knew cheated on. Yeah. But like, not everybody has to know your business. So let her tell whatever story she needed to tell, or just say, hey, you know what? We broke up. Not my guy. All good. But now he's all like, I cheated on you and I was an idiot. And like, you say that to her after the fact. You don't get on the podium and say
maybe he did. Maybe he told her before.
But then he got on the podium. Also, let's talk about the lady he cheated. I want to know, did she know? Or was he just like,
well, let's not blame the woman. Let's not blame the woman.
But did she know? Because now this other woman's like, I just went on a date and hooked up with this guy. He just went to the Olympics and won a bronze medal. And he's like, P.S. didn't mean to cheat on you. And she's like, I'm the other woman? Like, we don't know.
She has spoken out. She said it would be hard to forgive.
Yeah.
Holm Legreed for cheating on her. And also for turning his confession into a public moment.
Yeah. You know what I'm hearing, Jason? I'm hearing he is single. And this is his new dating app. He's walking around Olympic Village going, I'm single and my heart is broken.
Interesting. Dan, let me
dry my tears with my bronze medal.
To me, this is typical selfish, dumb male thinking. And I know you hate it when males are stereotyped like this. Yeah. But
sorry for missing the love of his life.
Anybody who's been
his
cheated on knows how humiliating that feels just in general. And now he's just told a global audience that he's humiliated this poor woman.
And she was not good enough. And you know what? He's one of the ones who skis fast and shoots things.
But she was good enough.
No, she wasn't.
6 months ago.
Not in that moment, she wasn't.
Well, we all have like moments.
No, not like this.
6 months ago, I met the love of my life, the world's most beautiful, sweetest person. And 3 months ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life.
I don't feel bad for him.
He disclosed the affair only a week earlier. So she had 1 week to process this before he told the world.
Worst week of my life. I don't feel bad for you. You made a choice. You made your bed. You lay in it.
So if you cheat, should you ever confess it?
Yes.
Should you ever confess it? Or is that just...
No, you absolutely can.
I don't know. Sometimes I think a cheater, you should just break up.
Yes.
And by admitting that you cheated, you're sort of like trying to get forgiveness. You're doing that for you. That doesn't help the other person. So I'm not always sure that full disclosure is a good thing.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
I know.
I do think...
How about that for a take? I think if you cheat, you should take that to your grave. You should keep now you should also suffer consequences. You should remove yourself from the relationship. But by confessing, I think you're just trying to wash your hands of your guilt, and then you infect someone else with the crappy feelings. And so you should suffer with it. You should let it burn you from the inside. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you should suffer an all internal pain. However,
but
what
I did like this guy.
Am I going crazy? Is he cheating on me? What?
Well, she asked. If you asked,
let me feel better. Let me know what's going on.
Then you have to confess.
Yeah, I do think that there are times, you're right, Jason, where it's better to just be like, I'm going to let this one go. I'm not that into you. I need to admit that to myself.
Right. Because the other person does feel like,
you feel like you feel insane.
Yeah.
Like you can't piece.
I thought just everybody was cheating. Like all the data seems to indicate that everybody's cheating. Is that
no,
maybe?
I don't want to think that.
Maybe just so many people are cheating.
Happy Valentine's Day. Woo!
Yeah, that's right.
You're unfaithful and you're unfaithful.
In The Guardian today, headline, underwear optional, health pros and cons of going commando. Tracy Perlman, where are you on going commando?
I have been waiting for somebody to ask. We've been doing this for over a year, and I have been waiting for this. I would say it depends where I am. If I'm in my jammies at home, probably.
Sure. Yeah.
While I'm out in public, especially if I'm in a dress or certain clothing, absolutely I'm wearing underwear.
Yeah.
If it's clothing I will be borrowing to, like lending to somebody, or I'm borrowing from somebody, I'm in my undies as well.
Dan, where are you on going commando?
No, thank you.
Even in your jammies?
I'll go commando in my jammies, for sure. 7% of Americans say they always go commando.
I don't want to know that those people are in dressing rooms.
Hey, Adam Carter here, inviting you to join me November 30th to explore tropical Costa Rica with Colette. We'll stay in the Monteverde Cloud Forest, a place you have to see to believe, where trees grow to heights of 100 feet and the wildlife is abundant, from butterflies to sloths. Enjoy breathtaking views in Nature's Museum. Visit a coffee plantation to learn the history from the bean to the cup. Plus, relax in a resort on the most beautiful beach of Guanacaste. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details: flights, meals, hotels, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Do not miss out. Call Colette at 866-436-6734 or visit WCCOradio.com to learn more. That number again, 866-436-6734. Let's go to Costa Rica.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
The first word on what Minnesota's talking about. News Talk 830 WCCO. KMNB HD2 Minneapolis St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Stacey Lynn. A massive search is underway near Nancy Guthrie's home. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is in Tucson, Arizona.
They are fanned out in that neighborhood, searching multiple roadways. According to the FBI's field office, they are trying to find any little clue that could perhaps find Nancy, or, again, perhaps any evidence that the suspect got rid of when they ended up perpetrating this kidnapping.
Police in British Columbia say while they have no motive yet for why an 18-year-old carried out a mass shooting at a school and home.
We do believe the suspect acted alone, and there are currently no other outstanding suspects.
A heated hearing on Capitol Hill today where Democrat Jerry Nadler questioned Attorney General Pam Bondi on her handling of the Epstein files.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No, you're going to answer the question the way I asked it.
The National Governors Association says President Trump has now agreed to invite governors of both parties to an annual meeting at the White House. Sources had said Democratic governors initially did not get the invite, but President Trump insists that's not true, posting on Truth Social, quote, "The invitations were sent to all governors other than two who I feel are not worthy of being there. Those two are from Colorado and Maryland." Some sad news from the entertainment world. Actor James Van Der Beek has died at the age of 48.
Where are you going? Spend the night.
Not tonight.
James Van Der Beek and Katie Holmes kept audiences guessing will they or won't they for years on Dawson's Creek. The cast always stayed close last year, reuniting for a benefit show for a reading of the original pilot. Van Der Beek was too ill to attend. Now, during his personal battle, he never let his illness define him.
What am I? And I meditated and the answer came through. I am worthy of God's love.
Matt Wolf, CBS News.
Crowds greeted a group of Buddhist monks who arrived at the Capitol today on the final stop of their 2,300-mile tour. The leader of the walk tells CBS News why they set out on their mission.
Seeing people suffer, and I keep asking myself, what can I do to help? And that is how the Walk for Peace come.
They started their journey in Fort Worth, Texas, back in October. Markets closed in the red today, the Dow down 66 points. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy skies, 37 degrees at 4:03. Good afternoon. I'm Susie Jones. A chaotic scene in St. Paul outside a coffee shop on Western Avenue in Selby. Ryan Luce works at Nina's Coffee Cafe. She witnessed a multi-car crash involving federal agents.
ICE was chasing down a guy in a dark red Prius, and they caused a car crash with two other cars, including the Prius, so 3 total, outside of the cafe. And they chased the guy in the Prius on foot. He ended up running down an alleyway across the street.
She says it was very upsetting for everyone to watch.
There was a lot of people outside, and luckily, there's a good community in this area, and we're all here to support each other and be here for one another. But yeah, very upsetting for everyone.
She says they eventually caught that person who was injured from the crash. That person was taken by ambulance with non-life-threatening injuries. Community groups calling for action as this federal immigration crackdown continues. Several local organizations are urging Governor Tim Walz and other leaders to end local law enforcement cooperation, they say, with federal agents. The group cites recent deaths of 2 residents and numerous arrests at the Hennepin County Government Center as evidence of due process policies being violated. Michelle Gross is president of Communities United Against Police Brutality.
Part of the issue with that is not only does it strip them of their due process, but it means that if there are any victims, those victims never see their day in court either. And that's deeply unfair.
Activists now demanding the termination of all ICE agreements with state and local law enforcement agencies and to restrict their access to state courthouses. An officer-involved fatal shooting in St. Louis County.
The Minnesota BCA is investigating after a man was shot and killed by 2 St. Louis County Sheriff's deputies last night in Duluth. Sheriff Gordon Ramsey says a deputy tried stopping a vehicle for reckless driving. That driver fled and was stopped a short time later. That's when shots were fired at the adult male driver, who died at the scene. A handgun was reportedly recovered from the driver's seat area of the vehicle. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
University of Minnesota Dr. Michael Osterholm being honored for his superior work. Osterholm was named today to Time's 2026 Top 100 list of the world's most influential leaders in health. He spoke to WCCO's Chad Hartman today, expressing humility.
Well, first of all, I'd always held the group that made these choices in high regard, and I kind of wonder what was wrong with them, that they actually picked me to be on this. But I think, really, quite honestly, my first one was one, obviously, of appreciation.
University of Minnesota Dr. Emil Liu was also recognized for his research in oncology. WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns for South 169, 494, heading down to Highway 101, South 35W, seeing your slowdowns across the Minnesota River Bridge. Over on the East Metro, 52 northbound, some slowing, Plato to 94, 35E. A little bit of congestion right now between Victoria Street and 94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Our spring-like pattern rolls on. The clouds will increase tonight, but we only fall back to 26. That's pretty close to our average high this time of year. Partly cloudy. We should crack the 40s tomorrow with a high near 41. 43 on Friday. Upper 40s to near 50 this weekend.
Right now we have fair skies and 37 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
And where the hell has the Twin Cities media been?
We've been right here, Tom, for over 101 years. Right here. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Have we gotten over our outrage over the Minnesota flag? That's where we start. And I'm afraid to start by asking you guys how you feel about the new Minnesota flag that isn't really that new anymore. 651-461-9226. I ask about the new, it's so silly to call it the new Minnesota flag, but I ask about the flag because there's a little nugget in the Star Tribune this weekend talking about the surge in Minnesota flag sales during the surge of immigration agents. And the story was very interesting to me because there was a surge in Minnesota flag sales, but there also was a lot of action of people buying the old Minnesota flag. Nobody likes change, right? Change is difficult. Change is uncomfortable. And I think a lot of people had valid issues, valid questions about sort of the process and was it too PC or what was it all about. Before the flag debate actually came up, Republicans were trying to get the Minnesota flag changed. I know nobody likes to think about that. But it was pretty universally thought that the former Minnesota flag was bad. It was bad. It just was not very distinctive. It was hard to see. It was basically a state seal slapped on a blue background. The new flag, you know, people have issues with the new flag. Some, I think, valid. Some are people who just like are so obsessed with politics that they had to turn everything into an anti-woke sort of freak out. But I wonder if time has helped heal some of that. And I'd especially like to hear from somebody who didn't like the flag. And now you're like, it's all right. Kyle's in Robbinsdale. Kyle, we appreciate you listening and calling in. Do you think people have softened at all on the flag business?
I'm a tradesman currently as a carpenter. I hear a lot of Somali flag.
Yes,
Somali flag. They gotta hold on to that.
Which the Somali flag is.
That's what they call our new state flag.
Yeah, I hear a lot of that too. You know, and if you're watching on our video stream, I've put the Somali flag on the video compared to the new flag. I would say the similarities are like they both have a star, single star, and they both have sort of a shade of light blue, but that's about it. I actually, this weekend, when I was watching the Super Bowl and the halftime show, I thought that the Minnesota flag, it actually reminded me more of the flag of Puerto Rico. That the Puerto Rico flag is a little more similar in sort of the shape as our flag is. But, you know, people do want to hang on to that little racist kind of dog whistle, right? Somali flag, Somali flag. Yeah.
It's easy.
It is easy. It's hard to change your mind once you've gone all in on that, don't you think? Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. 651-461-9226. I'm just curious where you're at because people were so hot on this, and I've seen a number of Republican candidates because, you know, you try to grab onto something that catches the people's imagination and is easy for people to understand. And The flag dispute, I think, is easy for people to understand. But when I hear the general vibe about this, I just wonder if people have moved on. If there's a little more accepting. Mark is in Rosemount. Mark, thanks for calling in. Do you think people have you changed your view or softened up at all about this?
No, I have not changed my view. I'm not really obsessed about it either. It doesn't keep me awake at night. But
that sounds healthy, Mark. I just want to stop you and say, like, that sounds like an absolutely appropriate reaction to this.
It just looks to me, it's like the Texas flag. It's just,
Yeah.
It was a terrible choice. I think our old one was not disrespectful, but it was identified with Minnesota. It was a good design.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Thanks for listening and for calling in. I think that's fair. I think my view is that, generally speaking, no one really cared about the old flag until it was time to take it away. And I still am not 100% convinced that people actually care about the old flag. However, the strength and the fervor that people responded to this with either makes me think you guys are incredible actors and love to play the part of the aggrieved, sad, like, oh, they're taking my culture away from me. Or, like, people actually do care about this, maybe a little more than I had suspected. I do think, though, if you objectively look at these flags, to say that it's like the flag of Somalia is just absurd. It's just absurd. Like, light blue and star. I mean, you have more of a case, as our last caller said, to say, like, well, it's closer to Texas. I thought it was closer to Puerto Rico. And when you look at all of these flags, it's hard not to be left thinking, like, do we have no ideas of, like, a better way to do a flag? Like, is this the bit? Maybe this is the bit. 651-461-9226. Jason, up here in St. Cloud, you see the old state flag much more than the new one. So that should tell you something.
I mean, it kind of does. Even when the vice president was in town, the motorcade, using the old Minnesota state flag.
Oh, of course. God, you can't give that one up. Have you seen the flags downtown Minneapolis? The light blue gets washed out, and it's basically white. So the light blue was not a good choice. Another texter, Jason, I'm 64. I've never met anybody that owned a state flag from any state they lived in, moved in, traveled through, etc. Not even sure why anyone would want one. I don't know. I think, like, the California state flag, the Texas state flag, there is state pride. I will say, like, prior to this brouhaha, you didn't see the old state flag around very much. You would see it sometimes on, like, flagpoles at banks. You see it at government buildings. Every once in a while, you'd see it on your on a house or something like that. Mike's in Edina. Mike, are you seeing the new flag a little more than you used to?
Maybe because I notice it.
Yeah.
It's like different kind of thing.
Possible, right? It stands out because it's much more colorful and the design is designed to be like, you see it and it pops. So I do think it pops more than the old thing, which looked just sort of, to me, it was pretty cluttered, like a lot of junk on there.
Right. I would say this. I'm a 50-year-old guy, and I kind of grew comfortable with the old flag. It was our flag.
Sure.
And all the people that I know, we talk about, I don't really know one person that's happy with the new flag.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you my personal, we talk about it. It came out. There's in the news,
right.
blah, blah, blah. You ask people, you talk to people. And I would say 90% of the folks I talk with, and some don't really care, but I'm just going, my 2 cents is everybody was uncomfortable. Why do we have to change it?
Right.
So that's
right.
all.
No, I
Yep.
appreciate it. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. 1957 is when the old flag was around. And then, actually, 1957 to 1983 was sort of similar, and they updated it in 1983. So the old flag was only really around for 40 years. But if you're 50, like that was the flag, that's been the flag most of your life. That's the only flag you recognize. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe, Dan, the vibe I'm getting from people is that they're less angry about it, more accepting about it. And so maybe that is the process. I do think it's valid to look at the new design of the flag and be like, I don't love that design, or it doesn't do much for me, or I like some other ones better. I think that's like a reasonable artistic state pride discussion to have, right?
I mean, I think it is. I don't think I think, to go back to your point, most people don't care enough to even get to that level to have the discussion. All of the anger, all of the fighting about this is a pretext for fighting about something else, right? I mean, nobody really cares about the flag. Nobody does. They don't. This is about, well, it was Democrats who shoved this down our throats, so we got to fight for the old flag because they're going to take away all of our own culture. It's culture wars. It's a proxy. It has nothing to do with the actual flag itself. I think the spike is you have protesters who want to stick to Republicans and to conservatives, and what better way to do that than shove this flag that they know they hate in their face?
Yeah.
I don't even think the protesters really care about the state flag. They just know it's something that's going to tick off conservatives. So let's do that.
Texter saying, I think the flag isn't even about Minnesota anymore. It's just another virtue signal or outrage trigger. I mean, there's some validity to that. That is what Dan was saying. I don't think it's fair to say that the flag is an outrage trigger. I think the flag has been turned into that. I like the new state seal. They should make that the flag. I do think that part of the problem with the way the whole flag thing went down is that we're so used to everything being turned into a public vote. If you're going to name the new seal at the zoo, everybody gets to vote on it. So we think we should have a say in everything in the world. And what happened here is that, yeah, people got to nominate. They got to come up with their own thing. And then there's a subset of nerds out there that are flag experts. And the process was turned over to I think they're called, do you remember the name for it? There's like a study of flags where they have it's a vexillologist. So there's this thing called vexillology. And we turn the bit over to experts. And you know what people don't like in America today? Anybody who's an expert in anything. Because we all think we know better. And maybe we do. If it's a flag that's supposed to represent the state, maybe it should have been more about what the people wanted, even if that violated the principles of vexillology. I think the new flag is fine. I don't know why anybody gives a rip about it. It's fine. And I think the old flag was butt ugly, and nobody was flying it. So I hope people have softened on this, but it's not sounding like it. We can keep talking about it if you want. It's 651-461-9226.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's talk about an opportunity that you have to change your life, to achieve better health, to achieve better sleep, to have less pain, all of that with the help of Livia Weight Control Centers. It's Jason here for Livia. Oh, my goodness, Livia changed my life. You guys know that. 45 pounds gone, and that weight is off forever. Not coming back. We're not letting that happen, and Livia won't let it happen either. Right now, I want to just get you started in a conversation about getting started. That's the hardest thing, convincing yourself, you know what, I need help. Livia wants to make it a little easier. Right now, they have a limited time BOGO offer on GLP-1 weight loss medications. So I always tell people at Livia, you get more than a prescription. You get a personalized plan. It's tailored to your life. I lost 45 pounds as a food critic and a busy dad and a busy radio host. They'll make it work for your life, too. It's medically guided weight loss. They have award-winning nutrition starting at just $17 a week. They have one-on-one support. I needed that support. It's a little bit of accountability, a little bit of coaching, a little education, but you have a medical and a nutrition team right in your community. Whether you're interested in learning more about GLP-1s or you just want the nutrition-only approach, Livia's got it all. Everything you need all in one place. So don't miss it. Limited time BOGO GLP-1 offer. Pretty awesome. 855-GO-LIVIA. Or visit livia.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Staples has hot deals and super low prices on everything for your business. And right now, brand your business at Staples with up to 30% off custom labels. Exclusions apply. Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app. Ends 4/18. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Psst, hey, over here.
What?
Right here in the back.
Where?
Over by the fence.
You? The bike?
Yeah, the bike. Right in the grass where the kids left me a while ago. You know how lonely it is being left day after day, not being able to cruise the reservation?
Pardon me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You told them, no, you kids go have fun, enjoy the outdoors, and be careful.
Yeah?
I really miss it, especially when they put that playing card in my spokes, and I made a really cool sound the faster we went. Well, could you get my tires a little air, dust off my seat, and remind the kids how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, you are dusty.
Yeah, and I may need a couple of bolts tightened too. Now let's go.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Talking about the flag because the biggest store that sells flags in Minnesota has seen 75% increase in sales of the new Minnesota flag since the ice surge began. It's become a symbol of defiance, a symbol of Minnesota standing together against the federal government. And the owner of the store told the Minnesota Star-Tribune that we're seeing more interest in the 2024 flag now, and fewer people are buying it reluctantly. So he said there's a change. There's been a change of it over the last. Now, it's possible that it's just the self-selecting crowd that's buying it. And so the question I'm asking you is if you've sort of kind of softened your views on this. Emily on YouTube says the best state flags are simple, like ours is now. I like it. Another texter says it would have been nice to incorporate water, loons, trees, or something representing our rich natural resources. And in the design, like everything has a meaning, right? And so just because it looks simple doesn't mean that there's no meaning to it. So the blues are supposed to represent the blue skies and the blue water. And, I get it. Some people would like to see a literal loon on it. At first, I had said that I would have liked to see, every dang coffee mug and sweatshirt you buy in this state has the shape of our state, substituting for some letter. It's a very recognizable shape, like maybe that should have been part of it. And indeed, if you look at the design, the dark blue part is supposed to be a bit of an homage to the shape of the state. And I think once you see it, you can't unsee it. But if you want to be mad about it, you can be mad about it, right? Like, I think that's part of the reality. A texter also pointed out the city of Evanston has a flag that was designed by a 7-year-old that looks a little similar to what the Flag Commission came up with for us. I would just say, like, that 7-year-old's mom or dad probably did it. I'm just saying, like, we're just going to accept that a 7-year-old did it? I don't know. Let's go to the phones. Jeff from Sauk Rapids is with us. Jeff, good to hear from you. I think people are softening on this. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, they might be. I still prefer the old flag simply because I really think the new one is ugly. I've never liked it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It hasn't got anything for me.
Like too graphic, designy, you think, or like too modern?
I don't know. It's sort of dumb looking. I'm not sure what better way to put it.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I've got one flag holder in the front of my house, and since the Russian invasion, that's been occupied by the Ukrainian flag anyway.
Yeah. I think, Jeff, you're look, the reaction Jeff has is a normal reaction. Like the person on YouTube who says looks like a Muslim flag is a racist. It's just like, why does your mind go there, right? Like, it's valid to say, okay, I don't really like the design, but because Somalia has a light blue flag with a 5-pointed star centered, and we have some light blue on ours and a 8-pointed star in it, left justified, like, give me a break. Like, people want to see if you want an excuse to be racist, I guess you can find one wherever you want. You could do the racism without the flag. You don't need like a news hook to be a racist. You could just tell everyone you're a racist. It would be more intellectually honest, I think.
Yeah. In my case, I just don't see anything appealing.
Yeah, I think that's
it's like
totally
it's like
valid.
a bad work of art. You take a look at something that really gets you, and something else that's like, you know.
Exactly. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's fair. There's some of us that still hate it and always will. Not representative. The farming and the mining need representative. I would just say, like, the American flag is a pretty cool flag. Do you think in Canada they're like, why is it just the maple leaf? Like, what about the other farmers? And also, like, what about the Space Needle? Why isn't that on our flag? Like, in America, what's with these stripes? Why do we have 13 colonies? Like, how about, like, where's the semiconductors for computers? And where's the little car? Like, what about Detroit? Like, why did we decide that the flag is supposed to be like the greatest hits of our state? No other like national flag is like that. I think it's pretty strange. Thanks everybody for the comments, though. Except for the racist ones. Don't appreciate those. We're gonna break. I've got an inspirational guest coming up for you next. A teenager, professional snowboarder. In this time of Olympics where we have perseverance against challenges, we got a local person who was on their way when it came to snowboarding until, well, remember the scoliosis tests that we used to do when we were in school? This kid turns out to have massive scoliosis. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO. Twins pitchers and catchers report on February 13th. Jason DeRusha reports just 3 days later. Drive Time is heading to Fort Myers to get the early lowdown on how our hometown 9 is taking shape. Live broadcast from Hammond Stadium start Monday, February 16th. Presented by the islands, beaches, and neighborhoods of Fort Myers and the Margaritaville Resort at Fort Myers Beach on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You should never have to wait months on end for your home to sell, and you shouldn't ever sell it for thousands less than it's worth. It's Vanita here. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, routinely sell houses fast and for the most money possible. Walter and Adele sold their house with the Good Neighbor agent. They learned a lot from this whole process from John at one of his home seller seminars. John's advice and his marketing system made a big difference for them. It only took 5 days for John to find them a buyer willing to pay thousands over the asking price. It was wonderful. John can still give you all the same advice he gave Walter and Adele, even if you missed his seminar. You can learn what your home is worth. It's an important part of the process. Learn what your home is worth in seconds. Go to johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And it's brought to you by James Hardy. Got your slowdowns East 94, Riverside, heading out to Snelling Avenue, East 36, jamming up Cleveland Avenue to Lexington. Traveling Highway 100 northbound, watch for your slowdowns there as you make way between Cedar Lake Road and Highway 55. 494 northbound, bunching up in the area of 394, and then again at Bass Lake Road. Your home deserves the best. Hardy Fiber Cement Siding is engineered for your climate, designed to stand up to the elements in your region. Learn more about the #1 brand of siding in North America at jameshardy.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast time, and if you like winter, you're not going to love this forecast. Here is Chris Schaefer.
It's still winter, but it's feeling like spring out there. Mostly cloudy tonight, 26 the overnight low. We should crack into the low 40s tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. 43 on Friday. Valentine's Day looks dry for any big plans you have, and very warm with a high up near 50. A pretty good shot of hitting 50 early next week.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, it is 36 and sunny on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha
This sounds like torture to me.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
But I ain't worried about it right now. Keep them dreams alive. 1999 heroes. I ain't worried about it right now. Swimming in the flood.
All right, this time I think we're all really keyed in on these Olympic athletes who are inspiring us with their stories, right? They're doing things that we just can't even imagine doing. And they're facing danger and struggle in a way that I think we can all find inspiration and hope from. And that's why I wanted you to meet our next guest. Brynn Rux is 13, right, Brynn?
Yeah.
Brynn is a professional snowboarder, trains at Buck Hill. You may have heard about some of the skating stars of the Olympics who trained at Buck Hill.
Yeah.
The skiing stars, snowboarding stars, too. But Brynn found out last year that she had a pretty severe, undiagnosed condition. She's had scoliosis. So, Brynn, first of all, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Have you ever been on the radio before?
No.
How are you feeling about it?
Little nervous, but I'll be okay.
Tell me, how old were you when you started snowboarding?
I was really young, so I was about 2 years old, but it wasn't anything serious. It was just something to do.
You were just having fun.
Yeah.
And did you, like, obviously you don't remember being two snowboarding.
There's definitely videos and photos,
There's evidence.
This was mom's work, or you wanted her to snowboard, or what was it?
Honestly, it wasn't even that. She has an older brother who was fearless and was super into anything action sports. So we were like, okay, well, we'll get you a snowboard. And for funsies, we threw her on when she was 18 months old to see what she would do. And honestly, I think that we were kind of amazed because she got on it and she knew to point her board towards the bottom of the hill and just ride down. So she was
Just
honestly,
took it,
she
took
just,
to it.
she sent it day one.
So you're going along, and when did you realize, like, you know what, I'm like legit good at this?
It was when it was after my cheer season ended because COVID hit and they ended the season because no one could be around each other. And my parents were like, you like doing this, let's put you in a few competitions and let's just see how you do. And that first year, I didn't compete against anyone, and I got first, and that fueled me to really start competing and working towards it. And then the next year, I started competing against more people, and I still continued to win. And it was kind of a really cool experience because I was like, oh, I could be good at this. I am good at this.
I mean, it was, you're from Farmington, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going great. Like, things are going great.
Mm-hmm.
You get sponsored.
Yeah.
Right? How about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sick. You're like a 13-year-old influencer, right?
Yeah.
So this is all going great until what happened early last year?
Last year, we went in for a normal checkup just to make sure everything was okay, get shots and just all of that. And we were seeing a new doctor, and she could kind of see that my shoulders were a little bit sideways, and she didn't say anything until she was like, let's do a scoliosis check. And I was like, what does that entail? Because I've never done one. And my mom said they used to do it in school.
I
but
remember.
they
You
don't do
remember
that.
those in gym class? You'd have to, yeah.
Everybody get in line.
Yeah, and she did it, and she was like, you have scoliosis, right? And I was like, no, no way. I've never been told that. And she was like, yeah, let's send you to a doctor, but we had no idea what it would intend.
And even though, Stephanie, we had done these tests, I remember sort of thinking, I don't really know what this is.
No.
It's sort of a hunchback thing, or what is it, right?
100%. And, even when they called me, because I was working, my husband said, she's got scoliosis. I'm like, no way. You've got to be joking.
Right.
And he's like, no, really, I'll show you when I get home. And so they got home, and he had her kind of bend over, and I saw just a dramatic shift in her shoulder blades. I'm like, well, that's not right. So we took her in and had her first x-ray done.
And we have on our video stream right now, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or X, you can see that x-ray.
Yeah.
And it is, well, what was your reaction when you saw this? Looking at it, it's sort of horrifying.
Yeah. And it absolutely was. I didn't expect for the x-ray tech to allow me to come back and see it while they were doing the x-ray,
so you
but
saw
they
it
did.
as it happened.
So I saw it as they pulled up the x-ray on the screen, and I admit, I almost fell to the floor because I was like, it looks broken. It doesn't,
Yes.
even scoliosis, it never looked like any of the pictures that I've seen of scoliosis, because as soon as her doctor said she had it, of course, I went to Google and looked up pictures. And so when I saw hers, I'm like, that is not what that looks like.
It's like, and the team at Gillette Children's told me that it was a 56-degree curvature.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, I don't know, how would you even describe it?
It looks broken.
Yeah.
I my first
it's like
initial
a soft C almost at the top.
a hard edge, not a soft edge.
Yeah, that's right.
Like an S shape. It's more like a sharp triangle edge.
In the rib cage,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, we
Scary.
Yeah, we learned
Were you
more.
scared a little bit?
Yeah.
we both were.
I think we both were. Yeah.
And
'cause-
Brynn, did you feel any pain or have any discomfort?
I did, but I kind of just put it to the side because I was like, this is what happens when you snowboard, like you have pain and all that. So I was just like, I didn't realize it until they pointed it out, and I was like, that's why it's there.
And you're 12 and you're growing and your body changes and pain is sort of
Mhm.
like part of that process.
Pain
You're getting
is-
taller.
I hate to say it, but pain is part of snowboarding. Pain is part of skateboarding, which she also does.
Of course, yeah.
Like she's always in pain.
You're
so
wiping out all the time, taking
Yeah.
hits. Like
Yeah.
that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you get this x-ray, and we're talking with Brynn Rux, who is 13, pro snowboarder, trains at Buck Hill. Her mom, Stephanie. So they sent you to Gillette, or how did this go?
Yeah. So saw the X-ray before I even talked to a doctor. I saw the radiologist report, and I started making calls because I was like, "What is this? This is a huge curvature." So then we got sent over to Gillette, and I called, and I finally got somebody on the phone. They're like, "We're going to need to put you on hold." And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? They're like, yeah, anytime we have somebody with a curvature of over a certain degree level, you have to basically be triaged with the doctor right away to decide what to do next.
So then you knew, like,
I knew
how
it
serious.
was, yeah, I knew it was scary. And so, we got put in touch with Dr. Para, who is honestly probably their top doctor who specializes in this. And made an appointment and got in with him and kind of started discovering how much more of what was going on than just a general scoliosis diagnosis. Brynn was diagnosed with congenital scoliosis, meaning she was born this way. It wasn't something that just formed as she was growing, as she was going through puberty. It was something that she's always had. She has vertebrae that were actually fused together, that in order to correct it, they had to take them out, physically take them out. So she is now has one less vertebrae than a normal person walking down the street.
A raw deal there,
Yeah.
Brynn. You're one short.
Yeah, yep, one short.
Were you worried, Brynn, that you would have to stop competing?
Yes, I was really scared that I wasn't be able to do this. I was like, all my dreams that I've been working for all my life just going to be crushed because of something that we had no idea about.
Mhm.
And it's just going to stop me from being able to compete. And it's also, I've been getting on people's radars, like with my sponsorships, and is everyone just going to forget about me?
Oh.
And it was just that feeling of not, like, is no one going to want me around because I can't do this anymore?
It was so much of your identity.
Yeah. And it's just, I live, breathe, and eat snowboarding. That is just, it's what I do. You can't say Brynn without saying snowboarding.
Huh. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, this seems like a spot to pause because you are back snowboarding.
Yeah.
You are back on the hill. And how did that happen? We'll get into that with Brynn Rux, along with her mom, Stephanie, from Farmington, talking about a pretty amazing story here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota's family farmers are so grateful for your support. It is Jason here for our friends at the Minnesota Pork Board. 3,000 family farmers. Man, they're in every corner of the state. It is what I think about. I don't know, is this weird? But when you order a delicious pork chop at your favorite restaurant, you go to the grocery store, you get that pork tenderloin, I always check. To see, all right, are they getting this from Minnesota? Are they getting it from Minnesota farmers? Because we know our pig farmers are sending Minnesota pork all around the Midwest, all around America, and all around the world. We export pork to Mexico, to Europe, to Asia. Why? Because these 3,000 family farmers, so many of them are second, third, fourth generation farmers, have been doing this so long that it is the best pork in the world. Lean, high protein, and you know I love to cook. You know I write about restaurants and love to eat. And pork is showing up on more and more menus because it's so versatile. If you like spicy food, they got you covered. If you like sort of funky Asian fish sauce type flavors, man, ground pork and a a lob salad, just wonderful. So many options for you. And you can explore those if you're looking for recipe inspiration. How about tastewhatporkcando.com? That is my go-to when I'm looking for a new recipe. You can sort based on air fry or bake or grill, whatever the case may be. So don't mess around. Go to the grocery store. Go to the butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone is the refund money I get to keep for my family. Smart.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash 100 southbound just beyond 394 off to the right side. Looks like they may have just cleared, but there's still some slowing in travel either direction between Excelsior Boulevard and 394. If you're going to be traveling across town westbound, got some slowdowns there. 28th Ave, 235W. East 94, still a slow ride between Riverside and right now right about the area of Hamlin. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw and Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast time. It is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys seeking justice for the injured. Tonight, low of 26. Tomorrow, 41. Friday, sort of the same bit. We may touch 50. Snow's melting. Time to get in the line at the car wash. I'll tell you, that's what it's going to be like the next couple of days. It is 36 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Just a fascinating conversation with Brynn Rux, who is 13 years old, a professional snowboarder, trains at Buck Hill. She was faced with a diagnosis that had her worried that she would not be able to continue her snowboarding career. Her favorite thing to do, her dream, because she had severe undiagnosed scoliosis that dates to birth. So this happened early last year, and Brynn and her mom, Stephanie, are with us in studio. So you're diagnosed in early 2025. Docs at Gillette Children's decide to do a spinal fusion. So they take out one of your vertebrae, they fuse it together, and this was 6 or 7 months ago. And you're seriously out snowboarding again right now?
Yeah. It's been a long recovery, it's been a lot of getting myself up in the morning and just like remembering why I'm getting up, why I'm going out and training, why I'm going out to do this, because it was really hard to do any of that. Like right after my surgery, I had to fight my mom on just going out and walking because my back hurt, but she reminded me that you need to keep going because you have dreams. And she made sure I didn't forget about that.
Had to be hard for you, Mom, right?
Yeah, it was really hard. I mean, anytime your child is in pain and they're pushing back and saying they don't want to do something that you know will make them better, it's really hard to continue to push them to do something that is both hurting them and making them feel better at the same time.
How long did it take before you were able to get back out on Buck Hill?
So my doctor, he said 6 months and you'll be back out and riding. But in that 6 months, there was other time periods and other benchmarks to get to.
Sure.
So right after my surgery, he was like, give it a week before you do anything like walking. Just try to rest as much because your body just went through a traumatic surgery and all of that.
Give it a week. My goodness.
Yeah.
That seems real fast to me still. But
And I couldn't do anything, but he was like, walking is probably going to be the best thing for you.
Huh.
And so we kind of call it the summer of walking because we probably walked over,
I don't know. There were points where we were walking 5-6 miles a day.
Wow.
So, and that was every day of the week. So it was probably, I would say 100, 200 miles.
Walking.
And that was really hard for me because no child, like, that's my age wants to go out and walk. They want to be at home. They want to be hanging out with friends. But I had dreams that I wanted to accomplish. And that was part of it. And so he gave me about 3 months. That was the entire summer. And he was just like, walk, build up strength. And then I hit about August to October. And he was like, you can start running. You can start strength training, but keep it low impact and all of that. So I started biking, swimming, running, and strength training. Strength training was a huge part of it because I started doing it with my trainer from Buck Hill and all of the stuff like that. And then I hit about 6 months and I was like, I am ready to do this. I'm ready to get back to the slopes. I'm ready to work hard to get back to where I was.
What was that moment like, that first time you were back out there?
The first moment I was back out there, I felt stronger because before I knew my body was fine, like I didn't have to grow any muscle. I didn't have to try and work in the summer. And once I started strength training, that was kind of the way of me. So I got back out there and I was stronger. I was just more confident, I guess. And it wasn't scared. I was just glad to be back and glad to have all of the things that I've been wanting all summer.
Now that you're back, what's the biggest thing you learned? What's the biggest takeaway of this experience for you?
I think my biggest takeaway is you can never just sit around and do nothing, because if you do, either you'll stay stagnant or you will lose all of your ability. And so my biggest takeaway was the harder you work, the more things you are going to get to have come to you. Like if you work, they will come to you.
Hard work pays off.
Yeah.
It is work, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even when it's something you love, when it's something you're passionate about, it is still work. Well, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's an amazing story of the doctors sort of finding out and your doctors and your team at Gillette kind of solving the problem to give you a chance. But then you had to do the work. You had to do it. Yeah. Can't wait. You know, someday are we going to see you in the Olympics?
I hope so.
Yeah.
2030. right?
2030. Is that a goal, 2030?
Yeah. Could be.
All right. Just remember who had you on the show first. You better come back to me in 2030.
We'll call you.
So great to meet you. So great to meet you both. It takes a family for sure. It's not just you doing it alone. But pretty amazing. I don't know, a little inspiration for people on this Wednesday afternoon. Brynn Rux, a name to remember. 2030, when we see you in the Olympics, we'll be like, God, that kid was just like a 13-year-old little squirt in the studio, and now look at her. So excited to meet you. Thanks, Brynn.
Yeah.
So glad you're out doing what you love. Thank you, Stephanie, too.
Thank you.
We're going to do the news. We've got D-Rush Hour News headlines coming up, and enough coming your way, too, at 5:30 with some special in-studio guests. An in-studio enough? That's straight ahead on CCO.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Minnesota's source for news, weather, traffic, talk, and Twins baseball. News Talk 830 WCCO. KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Stacey Lynn. In Tucson, Arizona, there's an extensive search for Nancy Guthrie, who disappeared 11 days ago. CBS's Andres Gutierrez describes the scene.
There are agents, hundreds of them, that are found out in Nancy's neighborhood, the Catalina Foothills. It's about 30 minutes north of the sheriff's office. In fact, you notice that some of the support staff here at the sheriff's office were packing some water and snacks, bringing them up to those agents that are on the ground there.
Authorities believe she was abducted. Surveillance video shows a person in a ski mask and gloves at her door the night she went missing. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve tells us leaders in El Paso, Texas, were not happy the FAA closed airspace last night over a disagreement over drone testing.
There's a lot of anger coming out of the city of El Paso, government officials there. You have a community that woke up to news that there was some kind of security issue that would close the airspace for 10 days without any context. That created a lot of concern on the ground, as you can imagine.
It only lasted a few hours. Learning more about a mass shooting in British Columbia, Canada. Here's CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Deputy Police Commissioner Dwayne McDonald says the shooter was a former student at the school who had transitioned to female 6 years ago. Among the dead were her mother and stepbrother.
Suspect is identified as an 18-year-old female by the name of Jessie. We have a history of police attendance at the family residence. Some of those calls were related to mental health issues.
He says guns had been removed moved from the home at one point but returned. 2 weapons were recovered at the school where the suspect took her own life. Police say they have no motive in the shootings.
Senator Alyssa Slotkin responded after a grand jury refused to indict Democratic lawmakers who urged U.S. military members to resist illegal orders.
Yesterday, 20 anonymous Americans who we will never meet, who made up that grand jury, told us more about the values of America than Jeanine Pirro or Pam Bondi or certainly this president.
There won't be a new flu shot from Moderna this year. Medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder on why.
The FDA is not reviewing the vaccine right now, not because it said the shot is unsafe, not because it said it doesn't work, but because it disagrees with how one of the main studies was designed. And that's an important difference.
The January jobs report is out and better than expected with 130,000 jobs added. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
This was ahead of expectations. Most analysts thought there would be maybe 50 or 60,000 jobs created.
Despite the good report, stocks struggled throughout the day today, ending in negative territory. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Partly cloudy skies, 36 degrees at 5:03. Good afternoon, I'm Susie Jones. This hour's top story: outrage from St. Paul Mayor Kali Her after a federal agent chasing a person in a car caused a crash that injured a man and damaged 3 cars. It happened this morning outside Nina's Coffee Cafe on Western and Selby. Witnesses saying a federal agent chasing a person in a dark red Prius caused that crash. The man took off and was finally captured and taken by a gurney to the ambulance. That man had a white sheet over him, causing some concern for those standing by.
How much destruction? How much death?
Ryan Luz works at the coffee shop.
The other observers that I talked to, from their understanding, the guy that was taken in the ambulance was breathing, moving, talking, and all that. People just think that he was covered with a sheet for camera reasons.
Again, St. Paul Mayor Kali Her expressing her disappointment, saying in part, this is another incident that tells us loud and clear Operation Metro Surge needs to end immediately. Attorneys working for an immigrant right group are reporting horrible conditions inside the Whipple Federal Building.
Following a judge's ruling, lawyers for advocates for human rights were allowed to tour the facility, issuing a report today. One attorney describing conditions there with as many as a dozen or more detainees in each holding room and detainees shackled and sleeping on the floor without blankets. She said there were piles of trash and a semi-private shower that appeared to not be available for use. And as for phones, she said when detainees attempted to use them to contact legal service providers, the codes were out of service and they had no privacy with federal agents standing nearby. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Community groups are criticizing Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Governor Tim Walz for not doing more to protect immigrants.
Advocates are calling for the immediate withdrawal of federal agents from Minnesota, taking aim at local leaders like Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey for negotiating with federal leaders. Civil rights leader Akima Levy-Armstrong says dozens of local and state leaders are failing to protect citizens.
Because our elected officials, unfortunately, have failed us by capitulating to the Trump administration, it has resulted in the people protecting the people of the state of Minnesota, having to literally put their bodies, their lives, and their livelihoods on the line.
Inside the Hennepin County Government Center, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
A prestigious honor for 2 renowned University of Minnesota faculty members, Dr. Michael Osterholm and Dr. Emil Liu, were named to Time Magazine's 2026 Top 100 list of the world's most influential health leaders. Speaking to WCCO's Chad Hartman this afternoon, Osterholm says this award deserves to be shared.
What I do is a team sport. I'm basically a function of a number of really important and committed people to public health in terms of what I'm able to talk about or what I'm able to do. So, I think this award really, this recognition needs to be shared across the board.
Osterholm is a globally recognized leader in infectious disease preparedness and was very involved trying to stop the spread of COVID-19. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
By Whole Foods Market, going to find some slowing as you travel westbound 94 into downtown Minneapolis, making your way past Huron Boulevard into the downtown stretch. Earlier crash cleared, south 100 near 394. Traffic still congested both directions through the area, though, between Highway 7 and 394. Watching the slowdowns for 169 both directions there between Highway 7 and 394. Celebrate Valentine's Day at Whole Foods Market. Prime members get a 24-stem bunch of roses for $29.99 each through February 14th. Gift them to someone extra special while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Our spring-like pattern rolls on. The clouds will increase tonight, but we only fall back to 26. That's pretty close to our average high this time of year. Partly cloudy, we should crack the 40s tomorrow with a high near 41. 43 on Friday, upper 40s to near 50 this weekend.
Okay, right now we have partly cloudy skies. Jason Du Russia, 46 degrees.
You didn't put in
36. What did I say? 46? Holy ball, bland bananas.
It's fine. You're doing fine. You didn't put in your newscast the biggest news story of the day.
Which was?
Well, you put that like a couple of jamokes are in some dumb Time magazine list. Big deal. What? You know? Top 100. Every year it's another 100. How many geniuses are out there?
I'm on that list.
You may be.
Dan just gave me the rap, so.
No, Vanita, did you see this?
No.
Vanita's morning show made the top 20 major market news talk radio morning shows.
Get
list.
out of town.
How about that? The
That's
morning
a
news
nice
with
one.
Vanita made the top 20. Now, interestingly, there was a tie. So Vanita Sawkar and Steve Simpson and Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all there is on that show, right?
Correct.
JP. I don't want to take
Don't want
JP.
to take anything away from him.
Tied with the Joe Piscopo show out of New York. Do you remember Joe Piscopo back when he was like a very active comedian?
Kind of.
He was on Saturday Night Live. He did didn't he play like some like pumped up kind of guy? Was he in that?
That skit?
I don't know. Joe Piscopo.
I kind of have a memory of what he looks like.
But Joe Piscopo is now 74 years old.
Holy smokes.
Right.
Jeez.
And I guess, what do you do after you're in Saturday Night Live and you probably wasted all your money on Coke? Right?
You get a morning show in New York City.
He played Frank Sinatra back in the day. That was like, when was he on Saturday Night Live? This was like the early 80s.
Well, he's older now. Jeez Louise. Wonder what you'll be doing at 74, Jack.
Probably the same dumb show.
Boy,
Like maybe I'll be tied for 20th on the Barrett Media list of washed up radio hosts.
And if you do, we'll have a cake.
Why not?
Get
Should
your
I
cake.
give Vanita a cake for top 20? Maybe I should.
Are you going to dismiss me now?
You may go.
Thank you.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Fast when it's needed, conscientious when it counts, captivating when it matters. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, we did the usual banter time that we do. We did that. We did it with Susie. She likes to banter. Susie likes to have some fun. Dan's nodding. It's like, Trying to keep DeRusha on time. Imagine trying to keep Susie on time.
Now shut up and drive.
It's not our strength. It's not our strength. We are 20 minutes away from enough. It is your chance to vent about anything on your mind. You can start texting if you want. I like the mundane, silly, like the old man yelling at clouds sort of stuff. But you might have serious things that you've just had enough of. 651-461-9226. If you're listening live on the Odyssey app, or if you're not, go to the Odyssey app. Right where you listen live to WCCO Radio, you can send us a voice message. There's a microphone. You click the microphone, wait a beat, record a voice memo, and ship it off, and it comes right into, I think it goes right into Dan's head. I don't know how this works. Technology, it goes through the tubes, works its way in, and then we'll play it during enough. Right now, let's bring you up to date on the biggest news stories around the country and around our region. It is the D-Rush Hour news headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the D-Rush Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
And our first story is, again, a reminder of the difference between the way our local law enforcement officers do their jobs and the way the feds do it. This morning, there it is. A police chase that witnesses described as being crazy fast ends with a bunch of vehicles slamming into each other, and somebody who was fleeing, which you should not flee, but somebody who was fleeing ends up with non-life-threatening injuries and taken to a local hospital. Now, so much misinformation as this was going on. It is a reminder that if you live your life following breaking, developing stories on social media, you are going to get wrong information. And that's fine if you accept that on the front end. But you do have to check back, because the initial story was that ICE killed a man. Not true. As Susie mentioned in her news update, the guy was covered with a sheet. And often on a scene, when you see someone covered with a sheet, you do think that they were killed. This, ICE is saying, was a targeted vehicle stop of a man from Honduras who is suspected of being in the country illegally. He flees. What are you supposed to do? It is a struggle. It is a struggle. In the city of Minneapolis, there's no way in hell that Minneapolis officers would have pursued this guy through residential neighborhoods. Too risky. And pursuing a guy who's wanted of kidnapping in an active kidnapping scenario is a different deal than pursuing someone who's here illegally from Honduras. You can have whatever your feelings are about the issue, but the facts are indisputable. Minneapolis and St. Paul local officers would not be putting you in danger in order to catch a suspected undocumented immigrant. Next, the governor of Minnesota today has launched a new website, because when you look at the problem in Minnesota of fraud in our government, I was thinking if we just had a website, that would solve everything, right?
You're making a fraud.
Yeah, finally. We've been talking about fraud since, 2022 on this show. And here we are in the year of our Lord, 2026. And Minnesota has a fact-check website to address false and misleading claims. Truth before rhetoric. Now, the state of Minnesota, I praise them when they created a website that was designed to combat all of the BS that the feds have been saying about, like, oh, Minnesota won't cooperate. We're trying to get these undocumented immigrants out of here, and the state won't hand it over. And Paul Schnell launches a website that basically said the feds are full of crap. And I thought that was amazing. Here, this is an example that just because you launch a fact-checking website, they're not all the same. You can find the state of Minnesota propaganda about whatever they want to say, that the fraud isn't as bad as other people are saying it is. I guess, like, fine, but, like, nobody was asking for this. Nobody was asking for this. The Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Man, last night, before I went to bed, there was hope that maybe there was a break in the case, and today, at this hour, I don't know that there's all that much progress. Latest is that they're doing all sorts of searches. The man who was detained during a traffic stop after that really horrifying Nest camera video was released, that person has been released as well. Authorities have not explained why they went after this guy, but they are scouring the foothills near her home north of Tucson, Arizona. This story, it has mesmerized so many of us for obvious reasons. One, the odds of someone being violently kidnapped in the middle of the night it's so rare, that the victim of that kidnapping would be an 84-year-old grandmother. Even more rare. And then, of course, the celebrity aspect. Savannah Guthrie, who so many people wake up with every morning. You think of her as part of your family. And so people, for sure, are reacting to this. That footage showing the suspect, my goodness. It is, to me, it's alarming on multiple levels because, one, these cameras are recording everything. But two, the fact that they were able to kind of show somebody really covered up. Oof. One more note, and I don't know if this is a sign of how slow the Mall of America is, or is this just good news if you're trying to get to the airport? But if you need cheap parking, and who doesn't like cheap parking? What does it cost to park? Dan Cook has been looking for parking because I am cheap and Dan is cheaper. Mall of America now has parking, overnight parking for $12. Can't you just park overnight at the mall and take your chances? Like, what are they going to do?
You could take your chances, or you could, pay a little extra and be safe.
$12 an hour.
$12 a night.
$12 a night. That's pretty good because what does it cost overnight at the airport? $30?
A lot more.
And like I park at like a Park and Fly or Park and Go. I
you
can
have
never.
Jeeves drive you in the limo. Yeah, we know.
I go on some like short bus. I'm on a short bus where they take me to the airport, but I can never remember like which one I'm on.
Yeah, but now the Mall of America has a
That's
designated
like 18
level.
A night.
Designated level for airport parkers, and then you take the elevator down to light rail, zip you right over to Terminal 1, Terminal 2, wherever you're going, and you're all set.
All right. Well, now you know. Good news for cheapskates. Does this mean the mall has a lot of open parking spots? Maybe. But as spring break is approaching, that's some big savings, right? $12 versus $30. I don't know. How cheap are you people? Like, just park at the airport, call it a day. What are we doing here? Charge it to work. Why are you trying to save this company money when we go to spring training? Let's break. In a minute, jobs report. New jobs report out today. What sectors are the winners? This will give you new propaganda to try to talk your kids into what profession they should go into. We'll do that next.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Micro here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
It is time to start dressing better. It is time to realize that you need some help. It's Jason. Do you want to take advice from a guy who's got a squirrel on the sweater he's wearing right now? I don't know. That's up to you. I think you should. Because the greatest people in men's clothing are all working at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. So these are guys who used to work at Neiman Marcus, used to work at the other fancy suit store that was in the IDS. And now their expertise is for you at the Galleria. The premier men's clothing store is J.H. & Sons. Now, if you grew up in the St. Cloud area, you might know Halberstadt's. Halberstadt's has been making men who honestly needed some help. Let's be honest. If you grew up in Stearns County, you certainly needed some help when it came to dressing up. So you go to Halberstadt's, they'd take care of you. Now it's the second and third generation, Jeff Halberstadt and Sons, and they have men's clothing stores all over the upper Midwest, and their flagship right there in Edina at the Galleria. So right now they have all sorts of spring clothing coming in. If you've got a wedding coming up this summer, special event, get to J.H. and Sons this weekend. They can hook you up with a custom suit. They've got a tailor right on site. And again, that expertise, because we men do not know what we're doing. But we know we want the best, and so get it. JHandsons.com is where you can sign up for their email list. But go to the store, go to the Galleria, tell them you heard about it here on Drive Time.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Jason DeRusha.
I mean, the truth is, I am a terrible influence on Minnesota, on America, and perhaps the world.
Well, I've known that for years, but other people are just finding out.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
D-Rush Hour News headlines going in depth now with a look at the big jobs report just released this morning. Unemployment rate down just a little bit to 4.3%. The U.S. added about 130,000 jobs in January. Let's bring in Patrick Rehkamp, senior financial writer with 1834, which is a division of Old National Bank. He helps us sort of break down some of these important things that can be a little complicated. And this is one of those. Pat, how are we feeling about this report?
Hey, Jason, thanks for having me. I think we're feeling pretty good. Overall, the numbers were good. I mean, let's go through it step by step. Unemployment down a little bit. The number of jobs added, 130,000. That's double, triple, almost triple some of the expectations out there. So overall, pretty good. I think the last point, too, is the survey's made up of two components. They ask households, people, are you employed? There are more yeses this time than there have been in months past. And they also ask companies, are you hiring or have you hired? Again, more yeses. So all around, this was good news.
We always sort of wonder where the jobs were added. What sectors were the winners here?
The big one, again, this seems to be the case now for months, if not years, it's the healthcare industry. What's going on? The country as a whole getting older and sicker. Healthcare seems to be in demand. And I think, too, is healthcare isn't something that people tend to skimp on, right? You're going to go to the doctor regardless, or not. You're going to try and go to the doctor regardless of everything that's going on because your health is important. Whereas people might cut back on FARs or other spending, which can affect other areas of the labor market.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, definitely when you think about what are the future jobs, what are the AI-proof jobs, month after month after month, we're seeing growth in these healthcare jobs. Are these high-paid jobs, or I guess that's sort of the rub on this, right?
I think that's a good question. I think a lot of it's kind of mid-range. It's not necessarily the big buck jobs that we want to see that could really drive economic growth. Some of these are middle rung to lower rung in a lot of cases. But again, it's sort of like we'll take the job growth where we can get it right now.
Yeah, makes sense for sure. Pat Rehkamp is with us from 1834, talking about the jobs report out this morning. When it's always like an up and down thing, right? Jobs added in one area, maybe jobs going away somewhere else.
Yep.
What got hurt in this latest January report?
The federal government jobs, again, were dinged pretty good this month. And a lot of it had to do with DOGE, with the Elon Musk cuts. A lot of those came off the books in the fall when people's severance packages ended. There was a good chunk of people, though, however, that they were in deferred deployment, where ultimately they got until the end of the year. They wanted to keep them on, and then they were let go. So now they're showing up in the January data.
One of the things I wonder about is this sort of under the radar kind of layoffs and job cuts. Some cuts you hear about in big fashion, right? Like when Amazon or when some of these big companies made. And here in the Twin Cities, we've been watching Target, right?
Yes.
Which announced that they were going to cut another 500 corporate headquarters jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Do those kind of things, do those always show up in the job report, or is it a little bit of a lagging indicator?
They'll show up in the jobs report, but I think, I don't want to get too into the weeds on this, but there's 170 million people in the workforce. So when we hear about Target cutting 500 jobs, that's big locally, and I feel for those people. But I can't do the math at the top of my head, but 500 of 170 million, it is a little bit of a rounding error when it comes to the overall picture of the labor market.
Yeah, interesting. Makes sense. It obviously has a massive impact on a micro little part of the community or part of our local economy, but big picture, maybe it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, that's probably a good way of putting it too. And I think if you want to look at the state releases their own unemployment numbers and jobs data, they don't run on the same cycle. But Minnesota's unemployment rate has been running below the national average now for as long as I can remember.
Wages, pay, up, down, what are we seeing?
Wages were up pretty good, 3.7% year over year. I think what really matters, though, is inflation's running 2.7%, 2.8% year over year. So wages outpacing inflation, to me, is always the big one. Now, inflation's up like 25%, since COVID times. So it's going to take a while for people to really start to feel like they get ahead. But we've seen now at least a couple of months now where wages are outpacing inflation.
It's so hard because I think a lot of us, we see this and we see that people are pay is going up, but maybe my pay isn't going up.
Sure.
Or maybe somebody at the high end of the market is getting a 10% pay raise and I'm getting nothing.
Right.
The data does sort of mask part of the fact that our economy, well, you tell me if this is true. Are we continuing to be a tale of two economies?
There's a lot of that going on. Sort of the jargony term the economists like to throw around as a bifurcated economy or K-shaped economy. And we're definitely seeing higher income earners do better off than lower income earners. Now, the higher income earners are spending money, which is going to have an economic impact across the board. But lower income households, lower income people, they're definitely feeling more stretched than, I guess, higher income earners. And I think to a degree that's been true for decades now. But I think it's more pronounced than ever right now.
Yeah, the inflation, I think, really exposed just how separate our economy is. When you have prices going up, like you said, 25% over the last 5 years.
Yeah,
you're going to feel it a lot more if you're in the middle or at the bottom of the economy.
Sure, and everyone's still got to buy a pair of shoes or they got to buy eggs, things like that. Those type of prices certainly hit lower income households harder.
Pat Rehkamp from 1834, part of Old National Bank. As you look ahead, I mean, obviously we've had delays in these reports because of the government shutdown. What, as you look into your crystal ball, looking ahead, what are some of the things that jump out in your mind?
Well, I think right now, the crystal ball is pretty hazy, but I think 2026 could be pretty good. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act is pretty contentious. It's probably going to add to the national debt to a good degree, but there's a lot of incentives for businesses to spend. And the thought is that businesses will spend on hiring, pay raises, things like that going forward. So there is some hope for that. I think AI is the big one that's out there. Truth be told, nobody really knows what's going to happen. If they do, I wouldn't trust them as far as you can throw them. It's very exciting. It's interesting. I think it's going to be disruptive. How it ultimately plays out is unknown. And I think it's going to take a lot longer than maybe people expect.
As long as they can't AI you and me, I think we're all right. But
yeah, that's true. I hope they can't. You're probably a bit safer than I am.
Maybe some of my food writing stuff, I'm a little nervous about that. Luckily, that's more hobby than income for me because I think the AI can certainly aggregate a lot of this stuff without my involvement. Maybe
it is, but you got 1 second for a quick story on this?
Sure.
So I was doing some research on AI and the impacts on jobs and technology and the impact on jobs. And let's go back to the late 1970s, 1980s when ATMs were first introduced at banks. You could get cash without having to go to a teller. And everyone thought at that time that bank teller jobs were going to disappear and just be eliminated. Well, what happened? The number of ATMs and bank teller jobs actually rose together. Now they're both on the decline. Why? Because of mobile banking. Nobody even needs to go into a branch anymore to do anything. You can do it on your phone. Point being is technology changes industries in ways that are really hard to predict.
Very true. Yeah, it always amazes me. It seems like a new bank is opening in every suburb in Minnesota every week. So, yeah, it is sort of counterintuitive to what people might have expected.
Exactly.
Pat, good stuff. Thank you. Pat Rehkamp joining us, as he does with some financial analysis here on CCO. Drive time back in just a minute. Maybe the jobs report is something you've had enough of. What have you had enough of? You're fed up with it. Let's hear it at 651-461-9226. Drive time back in seconds.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Video game stocks were stung with a sharp sell-off after Google unveiled Project Genie, an experimental research prototype enabling users to create interactable virtual worlds. Google says that trusted testers were able to create an impressive range of fascinating worlds and experiences and uncovered entirely new ways to use it. Project Genie is available for Google's AI Ultra subscribers in the U.S. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Hi, it's Vanita, and we know how great the John Schuster Group is, but it's wonderful to hear from people who have benefited from that relationship. One of them is Ray from Minnetonka. Ray, thanks so much for joining us. Why did you choose the John Schuster Group?
At our first meeting with Tim and Abby Lehman, we clicked right away.
What was your experience like selling your home with the John Schuster Group?
It was incredibly simple. Our first day on the market, we got our first offer, and I was like, wow, we did get multiple offers, but we went with the first offer we got on Friday.
Okay, bottom line, why should every WCCO listener contact the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, when it's time to move?
From the moment they walked into our home, we had nothing to worry about with them. We're just beyond our expectations. We just can't thank them enough.
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
A crash in place, traveling north 100 as you make way toward 394. The activity off to the right side. If you're going to be traveling 394, it's jammed up both directions between Minneapolis and 100. 694 westbound, watching slowdowns there as moved between Victoria Street and 35W. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast time brought to you by Washburn McCreevy. Thanks to Bill McCreevy, great guy, great listener, funeral, cremation, pre-planning services. Here is Chris Schaefer.
It's still winter, but it's feeling like spring out there. Mostly cloudy tonight, 26 the overnight low. We should crack into the low 40s tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. 43 on Friday. Valentine's Day looks dry for any big plans you have, and very warm with a high up near 50. A pretty good shot of hitting 50 early next week.
Way above average when it comes to temperature. It is 33 in Brooklyn Park on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! I have had enough! Enough is enough! Enough!
Enough! That's what we want. That's what we want to hear from you. 651-461-9226. Anything on your mind. It can be serious. It can be silly. The sillier, the better. The serious, I don't know. Like, isn't life too serious right now? Don't we need petty disagreements and things we can be really mad about without caring that much? That's what I want. Low stakes arguments. That used to be my bread and butter. We have some in-studio guests today to get us started with enough. We've got Tom and Tim. Tom, you hear on the sports show on
with
Sunday.
Corzo.
With Corzo. Is he going to be mad that you're
NFL picks.
You do your picks.
Yeah, this is my sideshow.
Well, you are here with our friend Tim, and Tom and Tim are here to get us started with enough. Tom?
So I've had enough of people overreacting to minor inconveniences. We have big problems. There are big rocks that you have to take apart. But I am so tired of people freaking out over the smallest, most minor inconveniences. I was just on a flight here from Toronto, and there was a baby crying, right? And this person next to me was so just upset that this baby was crying. Number one, thank God that baby has strong enough lungs that it can try to express itself. If the baby was sick and couldn't do that, that would be a shame. But really, the mom that's dealing with this is having a tough time already. You don't need to freak out about it. Like if Starbucks takes too long, if someone in front of you is getting a half cap, double whip, whatever, hemming and hawing about it and freaking out, having it ruin your day, yelling at the barista. I've had enough of people freaking out about small inconveniences, things like Wi-Fi. There's no Wi-Fi. Why am I? You know what? You're not going to be able to Instagram for the next 15 minutes. That is a small inconvenience, and you should stop freaking out. Just tranquilo, right? Everybody just needs to take a big, deep breath about small inconveniences. We have them all the time. It's not a big deal. They don't have your size at Target. You're going to have to order it online and have it delivered to your house in 2 days? That's a minor inconvenience.
Can I give a counterpoint?
Chill out.
Can I just give a counterpoint on
You can
this?
if you want. You want to freak out about my minor inconvenience talk? This is meta.
I believe that we spend too much time freaking out about the big stuff, and life was way more fun when we freaked out about the little stuff.
We didn't have big stuff
matter.
before. We didn't have these type of massive things.
Didn't we
going
have
on.
big stuff?
I think
This is new?
But I think small things. People say don't sweat the small. What happened to that?
I say sweat the small stuff.
You
and
say sweat the small stuff,
right?
I say chill out.
We were better.
Chill out. You know what? The waiter is taking too long to get your 8th refill of iced tea. Chill, bro.
I have seen you though when you have ordered beverages.
Oh.
And if you don't get
Different type of establishment.
If you don't get enough
loudmouth soup.
If your loudmouth soup is not fully filled to the top, or if you don't have enough limes, for example.
Okay, I'm a lime enthusiast, but that's just a request. I had a couple bowls of loudmouth soup at lunch today at Manny's, a couple martinis. It was delicious. But I just think that right now we're treating people who are serving us and who are helping us, who are doing their best. It's not like they're going out of their way to go slowly. Let's just give them a break. Chill out.
I like it.
Don't sweat the minor inconveniences of the world. Just tranquilo.
Tim?
You know, I wasn't sure if we could talk name brands on here, but
sure,
obviously
you
Target,
can do whatever you want.
Target was mine. Simple thing that people tend to treat the shopping carts as a trash can.
Oh,
and so their Starbucks cup?
Yeah, Starbucks cup or like a random napkin that may have been from a muffin wrapper or something, but you don't know. You're playing detective in the parking lot or inside, wondering what's in your cart. Like, can't people just get rid of it themselves instead of leaving it for the guy collecting the carts?
It's a barometer. Shopping carts in general are a barometer for are you a good person or not?
Yes.
Because if you put your shopping cart away, you're not a bad person anyway. You might, right? If you leave it, if you just whip it into you're a bad person starting now.
Yeah.
Like that's you. That's on you. I think there's a social contract.
The cart corral is
shopping carts.
Yeah, it's there. It's where the cart should go. It's where the cart should go. I hadn't considered the trash can, but now that you say this, it's so annoying. And then you're faced with the dilemma: do I dispose of this?
Yeah, you do.
But you're like, I don't know where that's been necessarily. Like,
it's a minor inconvenience for you to throw it away, so the next person doesn't have to deal with it.
I am inclined to throw it away, but Tim, you don't know.
Tim just takes a different cart.
We just take a different cart.
Take a different cart.
Just because you don't know. But
that's the bad cart.
I'm also the guy, though, that pushes the carts into the cart corral. So
you have to.
I do, too. That is a classic.
Does anyone not? Would anyone admit that they wouldn't?
That's a dad move, though, right?
Okay.
Where you're sort of organizing.
What's wrong with dads? I'm pro-dad.
I'm pro-dad. But you're
WCCO
organizing?
is pro-dad. There's a lot of dads out there.
You got that
You
right.
bet there is.
Texter is coming in at 651-461-9226, and you're welcome to call as well with your enoughs. Tom and Tim will judge if your enough is worthy or if you need to tranquilo. Texters say, I've had enough of having to hide my socks from my cat every time I take a shower. If I don't hide the socks, the cat will take off with them. Then I have to go hunt them down.
Is their cat, or is it all cats do that?
It seems like their own cat.
An alley cat?
No, I mean, do all cats do that, or is that
I don't know. I'm not.
It seems like it's their cat.
I'm not a cat expert.
The neighbor cat keeps coming in my house and taking my socks.
Is this a cat issue? Now, you know my feelings on cats.
Felines. What are they? You're anti-cat?
Anti-cat.
See, I'm not. I don't say I'm anti-cat because if people want a cat, they can have a cat. But
I don't mind if people.
I don't want something to go to the bathroom in the corner of my room. Like, I don't want to constantly have a toilet just sitting out there.
Yeah.
Yuck. But I'm not harsh on people's mellow. The cats give a lot of people comfort, companionship, all that. I'm in a positive mood lately.
You
Jason.
are in a positive mood.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you're welcome to have a cat. I believe that you should leave that cat at home. Like, I believe generally that's true of dogs.
Don't ask him about dogs at the cafe. Don't even get him started.
In Minnesota, and probably all over the world, I believe that there's an age cohort between 22 and 40 that has substituted actual human contact with either a plant or a pet.
A plant.
And I'm concerned for these people.
Yeah.
And you don't need to bring your dog. Like, I was at Target the other day, and it was not a service dog. It was just their dog. Who's bringing their dog?
I don't know. Maybe they had a plan afterwards. I don't know. I don't understand that either. I don't get it.
It's all right. Like, you can go out. You can leave. You could put that dog in a crate.
What if the dog wants some alone time? Like, what if the dog needs a break? I actually think people talk about AI and all the things they're worried about with AI. I'm worried about two things. Number one, the rule of law, because beyond a reasonable doubt, I got reasonable doubt about everything. Secondly,
I never pegged you as a guy really worried about the rule of law.
Yep. Yeah. Again, it's a new leaf. Yeah. Secondly, we're close with AI to be able to communicate with animals, like with whales and things. Once they become sentient beings, we can't kill them, can we? If we're talking, and what if you could talk to your dog? Dog's like, I really don't want to walk today. It's cool if you go to work. Like, I don't mind.
I think
need
that
some
a lot.
alone time.
People assume that their pets want
of
to
course
do
you want that.
all the people
24/7.
stuff.
Yeah. Maybe a dog just wants to be like, bro, you go to the farmer's market. I'm going to chill here.
Right.
And, sit on the couch.
The dog could have the personality of Dan, right? Where the first time the first time Dan and I went to spring training, we had to have a little bit of an orientation to what it's like to hang out with Dan.
Yeah.
He gave it to you?
Yes.
Which is where Jason invites me to go do something, and I say, "Nah, I'm good."
Right.
Really?
And that was kind of the whole trip, right?
And I would say, like, well, maybe, like, we could go get some dinner.
Peel and
tonight.
eat shrimp. Peel and eat shrimp.
Peel and eat shrimp.
No, I'm good.
You don't want the shrimp?
You'd rather get.
What are you gonna eat?
It's not the food. The food isn't the problem.
The food is part of the problem.
It's the forest company.
Shrimp.
It's the forest company. It's
Dan,
the forest
Dan must
company.
be a dog guy.
Yeah.
I would love to have a dog. I just don't work a job that allows me to have it.
Texter says 1 cat is okay. If you have 2 to 3 cats, no way. That's enough. I do think there's something to that. There is a line where you go from being an adorable person with, I think you can have 2 cats and that's fine. If you have 3 cats, you're objectively a weirdo.
Yeah, it's a lot of hair. It's a lot of hair on your clothes.
It's a lot of scraping the kitty litter.
I never knew that
box.
cats hit until like 5 years ago. I never had a cat, but they just up and smack you.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know that. That's a new thing for me.
All right, we've got a text. We've got more text coming in. We have some Facebook reaction from people on the video stream as you get a look at Tim and Tom and Dan and me. And so enough. Keep it coming. I'll tell you one thing I have not had enough of.
What is it?
That is the Minneapolis Club.
That's nice, right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's old timey. It's cool. It's classic.
You go in the
I like it
Minneapolis
too.
Club, and the first time they toured me around there, they were like, you know what happened in this room?
Kennedy was assassinated.
Probably. They dreamt it up in there. This is where we filmed the moon landing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
It
weird.
all happened in the Minneapolis
A lot of
Club.
weird stuff. But
There's still a
apparently,
bowling alley in there?
the deals to like start Medtronic, the deal
Really?
to start Target when they split that off from the
No
Dayton.
way. Was there?
It was there. Kind of neat.
Huh,
and
that
now
is cool.
anybody can go to Charlie's, the restaurant, and the bar on the main level. So it's open to anybody, so check it out. Drive time with more. Enough. Keep the text and the calls and all of it coming at 651-461-9226.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Winter in Minnesota, and the whole state is just covered with ice.
Ice is the worst. It shows up uninvited, sticks around too long, and we're all stuck dealing with it.
Doesn't matter how careful you are, one wrong step and ice can ruin your whole day.
Well, you try to get rid of it, but somehow it keeps showing up like it owns the place.
Ice don't care what you want. It has its own agenda.
When Minnesota is affected by ice, we're on it. News Talk 830 WCCO.
So Chris Lindahl has been a friend of mine for a long time. And for years when I've been talking about the guaranteed cash offer, you think of the arms out guy, the billboard, the whole bit. The guaranteed cash offer is a great solution if you have to sell your house quickly, right? Like maybe there's a death in the family or a divorce or a job change or a relocation. Something happens where you need to sell a house and you need to work fast. Well, Chris told me that things have changed. Things have changed. Today, more and more people are getting the guaranteed cash offer because they don't want to deal with the headaches. They just don't want to deal with it. The open market right now in the winter in Minnesota, forget it. Who wants to list their house right now? And so many deals are falling apart at the end. So somebody makes an offer, they do the inspection, then they're like, I don't like this, and they back out. If you just don't want to deal with it, Big Red Check is for you. Chris Lindahl has you covered. He will take on all the stress. You just cash that big red check. Find out if it makes sense for you. There's no obligation, so why not check it out? Go to chrislindahl.com. At the top of the page, it says, get the free Smart Seller's Guide. Get that free guide, and if it works for you, get that big red check and start packing.
Hey, Twins fans, it's time for spring training at Fort Myers. Cheer on your favorite team at Hammond Stadium within the Lee Health Sports Complex. Then explore our islands, beaches, and neighborhoods between games. Sink your toes into white sand. Discover lush nature preserves filled with wildlife. And dine on fresh Gulf seafood. Turning your love for baseball into a relaxing vacation just feels right. Start planning at visitfortmyers.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
So some congestion along 494, the Bloomington stretch between France Avenue and Cedar Avenue. Crosstown eastbound slows as move between France Avenue and 35W up on the north side. West 94 got your typical slowdowns there past 169 to Weaver Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters presents Guys and Dolls, a high-rolling musical spectacle packed with iconic songs and dazzling dance numbers. Don't miss this Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Guys and Dolls. Tickets at chanhassendt.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
It's warm. It's too warm. It's winter. It shouldn't be 45 this weekend, but it's going to be, and I'm going to be mad because I'm going to be in Florida, and I want you guys to be getting 8 inches of snow and cold, and it seems like it's going to be fine. 41, 41, 41, sort of what the forecast looks like. Right now, it's 32 on CCO.
Drive time with DeRusha.
I'm just going to give it a big fat so what?
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Enough!
The texter's loving the Tom and Tim experience.
Well.
One texter says, new segment idea, loudmouth soup.
Actually, I could do a 3 martini segment that might change radio.
Yeah.
It might change everything, probably.
Loudmouth soup.
Need a lawyer.
That is, Tim, the first time you heard that was from Tom, yes?
Correct, yep.
It's a great phrase, right?
Loudmouth soup. Martini, vodka martini, dirty with blue cheese stuffed olives.
I've learned a lot from Tom.
The 3 martini lunch should be back, though. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever done a 3 martini lunch? It was an old-fashioned thing in the 80s.
I feel like whenever I have one drink at lunch, you get sort of the look. Like,
from who?
Oh.
Who are you looking at? See, I don't worry about that. I don't worry. I want the look. Bring it. What is he doing? Whatever I want, ma'am. Being awesome. Sorry.
Jason, I'm a millennial. I have 4 cats.
Holy cow.
And have an overflowing social calendar with many friends. And I'm married. Also, I'm a neat freak. There are exceptions. I feel like
of course there's exceptions to everything.
We need to get this person on the show because 4 cats and you're married?
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to hide his socks?
People, maybe that's his whole thing, though. Maybe he's a cat enthusiast.
Is this person, we don't know. Is this person,
that's fine.
Is this a man or a woman? And are you married to one of your cats? Is it different if you're a man with 4 cats or a woman with 4 cats?
It's different with cats and dogs, too, because dogs you walk. You don't walk a cat, do you? I don't think you do. I've never seen a cat be walked.
Yeah,
but you don't take a cat.
You
don't take a cat to the brewery or whatever.
I hope not.
Which is annoying. But again, I'm off small annoying things. I'm pro dealing with things a little bit better.
I like it. Martinis are like boobs. 1 is not enough. 3 is too many.
3 is just right. especially for our future radio show, Loudmouth Soup.
You're in the soup. It's just going to be yelling.
Welcome
nonstop.
to the Loudmouth Soup Zone. I'm John Sharkman here.
I'm Jason DeRusha. And I've had enough. I'm just going to, will I be mad all the time or happy all the time? I don't know. I've had enough of my sister leaving shopping carts right next to the car. She says old people like it. It helps them walk to the store.
So it makes you feel better. If that makes you feel better, sister.
That's
like blatant.
That's
absurd logic.
I do. So Costco is the one scenario, Tim, where with the cart, sometimes I feel like it would be more convenient if I would offer it to someone instead of putting it in the cart corral. Because when you go into Costco, the carts are all the way like on the other side of the foyer.
You can have a quarter-mile walk.
Right.
Do they want it? If they want it,
no.
yes.
Whenever I offer it, they look at me like I'm about to steal their purse
you have
or
that
something.
Look. You have that look. I think if they want it and you're solving a problem.
That's what I think. Texter says, I've had enough of TV commercials being too loud. Yeah, it is annoying. It's annoying. You know what? You have a remote control, though. I mute the commercials because that's when I have a lot of wisdom to share with other people in the room. Commercial time is perfect for that.
I like marketing, though. I don't know if I want a fillet of fish till I see an ad for it.
That's fair.
Now I want a fillet of fish.
I only listen to radio ads.
Do you?
Hi, I'm Jason DeRusha.
I'm in.
Minneapolis Club. Henry's next.
Retirement will be here before you know it. Get ready by listening to the Retirement Reality